Shiatsu Acupressure webinar as part of Shiatsu Without Borders Month, which is sponsored by the European Shiatsu Federation. So we just got a few more people hopping in live. But most of the time, I think this is really just going to be streamed to Facebook and YouTube. So I'm going to invite you to ask questions in the chat and they will be fed to me. So I'm going to do the webinar first, and then at the end, we're going to have a live Q&A chat. So just lots of people coming in. And let me just, okay. Bear with me because this is a new platform that I'm using. So we're just there. That's it. Okay, so you're very welcome to this Shiatsu webinar. What I really want to do this evening is, hopefully you've all downloaded your free ebooks. If you haven't, you can go to my freebies page on the website, and I have 3 acupressure points in the ebook. Oh my goodness me, this is tricky. Okay, let's turn that one off. There we go. Okay, so you can get 3 acupressure points in the ebook. So we're going to go with the acupressure points. But before we have an actual demonstration of the acupressure points, it's something really interesting is, what is the difference between acupuncture and shiatsu? So acupuncture uses needles on various acupuncture points around the body, on the meridian lines, and the meridians are like rivers of energy that flow around the body, and they collect in the hara area, which is in the belly, and feed all of the organs of the body. Now, it's an energetic system. So just the same as blood flows through the arteries and veins, energy flows through the meridians. So the main difference for me between acupuncture and shiatsu is that, and I love acupuncture, I will go and have acupuncture sessions, but the main difference is shiatsu is a conversation. So what happens is, when you have a shiatsu treatment, is that one hand will act as the mother hand and the other hand will really kind of feel around into the point itself. Okay, so one hand is listening and one hand is pressing, and that's a really important point, and that's what we're going to practice this evening, is listening. So if you imagine you wanted to go and meet a friend for coffee, you would ask them, how are you? And when you ask them, how are you, the response and the reply, you wouldn't want to talk over it. You'd actually want to really listen to how your friend is. So that's the same as when you're pressing these acupressure points. We're really in a deep state of listening. They are not just buttons that you think, oh, I'll press here and that'll solve my anxiety. And I'll press here and that'll solve my constipation. And I'll press here and that'll help with bone density. It's really about a conversation that you have with your body. I find that these points are absolutely amazing for having a conversation with the body. But just like you have a conversation, you've got to be open to listening. So let's do the first point, and then I'll guide you through a listening practice and how to actually use the point. So the first point we're going to go for is CV17. So CV17, what I want you to do is, I want you to find your nipples where they could be, oh, sorry, I'm just gonna, I've got somebody just, I tell you, I won't be using Restream again, back to Zoom for me. So let's have a look. So CV17, this is a really amazing point for reducing anxiety. So where is it? So what I want you to do is, I want you to find right down the central midline of the body, right down the central midline in the body, and come in line with where the nipples could be, would be, should be, where, who knows, but really midline of the breast and the chest. If you're a man, it's right in the middle. For the woman, just kind of go in the middle of the breast, and where that meets in the middle of the chest is CV17, center of the chest. So let's see if you can find that. So just find around on the sternum. There. So on the sternum, you will be able to find a little divot point, a little point where there's a depression on the sternum. So what I want you to do is find that point. And now, as you do that, I want you to just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And what I want you to do is drop any thoughts. And what I want you to do is bring almost a sense of awareness to the chest and the lower belly. So let all the energy drop to the lower belly, just below and behind the belly button. You can hold just below and behind the belly button if that helps as well. This is going to be your mother hand. So your mother hand is going to hold, here's my belly button, and I'm just holding just underneath the belly button. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, big, big belly. Exhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Press the belly button back to the spine. Relax. Exhale, squeeze. And relax. And squeeze the belly button back to the spine and relax. And now just let the lower belly guide and the energy down, 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 right into the lower dantian, this lower energy center. And almost you let all your thoughts go. Let all your thoughts go. So the mind is open like a cloud. And what I want you to do is just press and hold. And we're going to press and hold. Press and hold. We're going to keep doing this. Just going to do it a few more times. Press and release. Press and release. Press and release. Now holding the hand over the CV17 point. I want to see if you can just feel any tension dissipating. Just be curious about how that feels and see if you can build up an energetic connection between this CV17 point and the mother hand in the lower belly. Just inhaling and exhaling. So not expecting anything to happen, just waiting and seeing if there is a change. See if there is a change. For me, there's not so much of a change at the moment, and it's I'm gone quite kind of high because this Restream is a new platform and lots of people wanted to join. So I'm going to have another technique. If that one isn't working for you, we're going to use CV17 in a different way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap. This one, really, really great. If you are maybe on a plane, if you're in a highly stressful situation, you're just going to tap in the middle of your chest. And then I'm going to show you a point that's maybe not quite so obvious. So if you want to be more discreet, but that is making a big difference now. I can feel the energy beginning to descend right down to the lower belly. So I'm just going to tap and tap and tap. Yep, just tapping into CV17. Remember where that point is, in line with the nipples and the midline. So I'm just tapping right into that point. And now I'm going to hold, and I'm going to have a mother hand just below the belly button. Inhaling and exhaling. And just allow the chi to settle. This chi, this life force energy that often can really go up, 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 up and make us very confused, very anxious, living in a tight chest up here. What we're trying to do with this point is we are just relaxing the chest so the breath can go deeper and reducing any anxiety. This is a fabulous one for reducing anxiety. So let's try that one again. So in line with the nipples, in line with the center of the chest. Just massage, press, and hold. Without any expectation, and just have a conversation with this point. Almost kind of ask it in your mind, how are you doing? Is there anything that you need right now? So we're really listening to the point. And for some people, that might be new to you. You might not really kind of ask the body things. Maybe you treat the body like a machine, but it's really not. It's nature, and it's part of nature. You are part of nature. So just kind of ask your body, how are you? And how can you love yourself more? How are you, and how can you love yourself more? And just listen and wait for the answer. Remember, I'm holding with the mother hand and I'm pressing into the point. And I can feel there was a release there. There was a burp and a release. The tension that had got caught around here had just released and dissipated. Really fabulous. So I'm going to just smooth that down to the lower belly. I'm going to smooth it down to the lower belly, holding the lower belly and letting the energy just descend. What I want you to do now is just close your eyes and just feel that area around the center of the chest. Just feel that area around the center of the chest and see if it feels softer, quieter, more receptive. And just gently opening your eyes, and imagine you had eyes in your heart, just around that point there. Just imagine you've got eyes in your heart. And I want you to look at the screen or pick somewhere in the room and just see with your heart. Imagine you have eyes in the heart and just see with the heart. Now that that point is open and soft, can you just see with the heart? Opening the heart and seeing with the center of the chest. And as you do this, you'll become more available. When we get out of our mind and into our heart, in a soft and open heart, we become more available to all the energy around us. So just be sensitive to the energy. How does that feel in the body? Do you feel more available to more loving energy, to more chi, to listening? To be able to listen to the body, we have to be available. And that comes from sinking the energy out of the head and into the body, seeing with the heart, without expectation, without thinking that's how it should be, that's not how it should be. We have no expectation and no duality. We simply are in the heart and appreciating the wonder of the world. Okay. So I can feel the tension starting to come back into the center of the chest. So let's work another point. Let's go with another point. And the next point I want to show you is the palace of weariness. So I want you to just kind of close your fist and have your middle finger, where your middle finger lies, is the palace of weariness. So it's not directly in the center of the palm, it's just slightly off. If you make this kind of shape with your hand, like a big limpet, you'll find the point right at the center of the limpet. Or you can make a fist and it's where the middle finger falls. Okay. Any questions, just put them in the comments and I will answer them at the end. I have Davey sitting over there on the Facebook and I have Sam in the living room sitting on the YouTube. So they will be able to feed me your comments. So if you've got any questions, I'll answer them at the end. So what I want you to do, again, just see if you can let your thoughts go and sink your energy down to the middle of your chest. And the point that I'm pressing here is called the palace of weariness. The palace of weariness. So if you are feeling heartbroken, if you're finding it difficult to connect with the beauty of the world, I mean, there is so much war at the moment, it's really difficult to feel like you're empowered, like there's any point to do anything. But that's really not the truth. If we can actually sit with what is, then we can bring loving kindness. And bringing loving kindness is the only way that we can actually get to solutions for change. So let's find that on the other hand, middle finger. And let's press, hold, and massage. And again, it's not a button. It's not a button. This acupressure point is a way for you to have a conversation and connect with your body. So inhaling and exhaling and just seeing how it feels. Some of these points might feel really stiff and stuck and solid. And some of them might feel really empty. We're just meeting the body exactly as it is and bringing some kind of balance. So if it feels really empty, you might imagine that the energy drawn from heaven and earth is coming down and meeting that point and filling that point. But if it feels really full, then you might want to imagine that the energy is dissipating to another area of the body. So inhale, exhale, press into this point and just see how it feels. Be available to listen to your body. How are you feeling? And how can I love yourself more? How can I love you more? This is you talking to your own body. Now let's work both those points. Now physically what these do is they're very good for reducing anxiety, improving blood circulation, because you're working the heart protector meridian, which goes all the way up the center to the outside here. And then a nice little extra channel comes around and meets the CV17 point. So let's pulse, pulse, pulse. And see if you can feel the connection. See if you can feel a connection between the center of your palms and the point that you're pressing and the center of your chest. Pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. And now bring a hand over the CV17 point and another one to the lower belly. Drop the shoulders and just listen. How are you? How can I love you more? How are you and how can I love you more? So I'm asking my body this. Now my body is telling me it wants me to go to my kidneys and just softly rub my kidneys. Obviously, new channel, new platform sent me into a little bit of jitteriness, and just holding the kidneys will help me release any kind of extra adrenaline or anxiety. So I'm just holding my kidneys. And at the same time, it's asking me to just hold below the belly button. So holding across my kidneys and holding across my belly button. But I'd be really interested to know how that was for you. Pop it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. How did that feel connecting in with the CV17 point and the Lao Gong point in the center of the palms? How was that for you? Davey, have you got any questions there coming through on Facebook?
Says, do you still do morning Alzra? Do you still do morning exercises?
Yes, we still do morning Qigong. We've been going for 4 years now. Yep, still Monday to Friday. We were doing hip openers this morning in Qigong. Yep. Anything else, Davey? So pop your comments. Let's see how that is for you.
It says great perception. Wow.
Great perception. Great. So I hope that meant that you could actually have that perception. So let's do that exercise again. And we're going to do another point. I'm going to show you another point as well. But first of all, what I want you to do before we even... Oh, and I've got Mary here saying, so relaxing and wonderful to drop the energy down to the heart center. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely works. So we're going to do that again. So just jiggle and wiggle on your sit bones. Just jiggle and wiggle on your sit bones. Wherever you are, just jiggle and wiggle. Let all the chi start to descend. Yang is up here, yin is down here. Yang is all the chi. It's warm, it's active. We can't see it. Yin is the blood, it's the bones, it's the earth, it's the mother. The chi, the yang, is the father, it's the sky. And these two meet together and they make us. Our energy made manifest in this body for this finite life. It's a finite life. But we can have much more connection than we even know we can. Really, with quantum physics, we're really being shown how everything is energy. We are not machines. That is a paradigm that has passed. We are energy made manifest. We are both yin and yang. So let's get really yin and wobble on the sit bones. Activate your perineum and then relax and breathe. Let's do another point and another perceptive exercise. So big belly breath. Exhale. Squeeze the belly button back to the sternum. Relax. Let the belly really inhale naturally. Exhale, send the belly button back to the spine. Relax. Exhale, send the belly button back to the spine. And relax. Just let the breath come in naturally. You can close your eyes. Taking your attention down to the lower belly. Wherever your attention goes, chi follows. And wherever chi goes, blood flows. So we take it in this direction. We take our attention first to the lower belly. Feel the powerhouse of the lower dantian. And now feel the powerhouse just rise up gently to the center of the chest. Now that we've released that CV17 point, you should be able to feel it much easier and much quicker, this softening around that heart center. And feel it almost like a perceptual center, so that when you gently open your eyes and look around you, you can imagine seeing with your eyes, not just with your senses, but with your eyes of your heart. And that has no expectations. That is just in wonder of what is. And so while we're in this state of wonder, open-hearted, powerful lower dantian, let's find the next acupressure point. So the next acupressure point we're going to go to is spleen 6. Now, spleen 6, don't do if you're pregnant, okay? Don't do this one if you're pregnant. Spleen 6 is really good for moving blood and chi in the lower abdomen, which if you're pregnant, you don't want to do. So if you're trying to go have the baby, if you're in labor, spleen 6, fantastic point. If you're pregnant, you want to hold on to that chi. You want to hold on to that baby and all that blood and nutrients. So don't press the point. Otherwise, if you have endometriosis, constipation, bad period pains, cramping after you eat, bloating after you eat, spleen 6, fantastic point. So let's just find that point. So first of all, you've got the ankle bone, yeah? And so what I want you to do is find the top of the ankle bone, and now 4 fingers above the ankle bone in the middle of the leg. Okay, there we go. Now what I want you to do is, again, put one hand just below the belly button and the other hand is connecting in with the point. Take your attention to the perceptual center of the heart, powered by the lower belly. Just connect with this point and ask, how are you feeling? How are you feeling and how can I love you more? Now, quite often this point can be very sore and painful. So if it's very sore and painful, just listen to that and even hold it tighter. It's not like the harder we press, the more healed we are or the more enlightened we are. You know, it's not going to work that way. It's really about connecting in. How much do you want to press? Maybe the point is feeling kind of hot and sore, and you might just want to even hold your hand over it. Maybe it's feeling cold and empty, and it says to you, I want to get warm. You can tap. I'm going to show you, you can tap, you can use your knuckles, you can use your thumb and move it in small circles. I'll demonstrate once more again where it is. You have got the ankle bone, 4 fingers, and where the 4th finger meets, that is where spleen 6 is. Ooh, little bits of that might be a little bit sore. I'm just going to check in. How are you doing? Yeah, it just needs to be held. The point is just saying to me, just hold me there. Little bits of circling. It wants a little bit of circling. Little bit of circling. It wants me move the foot, move the leg. Just that nobody is going to know what you need more than you know. This is also an exercise in trusting your own perception. Shiatsu is more than just about pressing points on the body. It's really about developing a connection with yourself and also the whole of nature, understanding that there is no separation. Just working out, how am I feeling and how can I love myself more? All right, that point is saying it's had enough, so it's a good job. There's another one on the other leg. So let's go to the other leg. Okay. So again, finding the ankle bone, find the top of the ankle bone. 4 fingers on the top of the ankle bone, and we're coming right in the middle. If we're over on the front, we're on the liver meridian. And if we're over to the back, we're on the kidney meridian. So this point is actually called 3 yin crossing because it's actually where the liver, the kidney, and the spleen meridian join. And these are all yin meridians. They're very soft. They can be a yin, if you think about it. It's the dark, it's the feminine, it's the receptive, but it's also really, really powerful. So this one on this side feels a little bit more empty. So again, I'm going to my lower belly. Inhale, exhale. Oh, I like the feeling of this one. This one is a little bit easier. This one is feeling a bit softer on this side. Inhaling and exhaling. Massage. Press. Hold. What is the point saying to you? Pop it in the comments. How does this feel for you? How is the point? Is it empty? Is it full? Just having a little connection, have a conversation. Remember, you're in the heart space without any expectation. You're just in wonder at your body. Now, here we go. Tender on both sides. Yes, Moira. So just go gently, just go softly. Just go gently and just go softly. Holding and returning back to center. Returning back to center. Holding the lower belly. You can actually do both points at the same time. Let me see. So here you can see I'm going to just rub both points at the same time. Rubbing both points at the same time. Also, what I like to do is really connect to heaven and earth. So from the top of the head, you have a by-way point. And from down at the perineum, you have another $1 million point. So with the by-way point at the top of the head, I imagine a cord running right through the body. And I take that cord right up, 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 and I plug it into the North Star. And then that cord comes down through the perineum and goes right down, 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 deep, right into the center of the earth. And so that none of this, when I'm doing shiatsu, and especially when I'm doing shiatsu with another person, the energy is not mine. I can really draw on this life force energy, which in a way is mine because it's what animates me. It animates me. If I didn't have this life force energy, I'd be a corpse. So I have this life force energy that animates me, but really it comes from heaven and earth, from the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, and we can really draw that in so you don't feel depleted. It's not coming from me as a person, from Joanne, who comes from Liverpool, who's 56 years old and has got all these different stories that make me up. I can get out of the way and just become a channel for this life force energy. So don't feel that it has to deplete you. It's really actually very nourishing. So let's just sit with that. Let's sit with that, with this open heart that's powered by the lower belly. Inhale, big belly. Exhale, squeeze the belly button back to the spine. When you can feel that perineum really warming, loosening, opening, feeling the power of the pelvis, let that energy rise up to the heart. And as if you've got eyes in the heart, see the perceptual center. In front of me, I see a computer, and I'm really seeing that with the heart, feeling such gratitude for the people who've invented the internet, the computer, feeling great gratitude for the chair that it's sitting on, the wonder of the sunshine coming through the room. Davy in the corner, feeling the sensitivity of him in the room, just really seeing with the eyes of the heart. Learning to feel this connection with yourself and the body. So let's put the thumbs on top of the ears where the middle fingers meet. Press into the by-way point. It's right in the midline. Press into the by-way point. 100 yang meeting points. Massage, press. You can hold. What does it feel like? At the same time, hold with the chest. Moving it down to the lower belly. And just experiment how your body changes and how it feels when you engage with these different areas of the body. For me, it's much more grounded when I can connect the by-way point with the lower dantian point, just below and behind the belly button. So as always, let's sweep all the energy down to the lower belly. Sweep it all the way down to the lower belly and come in connection with your body. May I be happy, safe and well. And really feel that availability. If you can have this sensory awareness that isn't just aware with your mind, keeping you sitting where you're sitting, standing where you're standing. If you can really just drop into this sensory awareness, eyes in the heart, and develop a communication with your body. And so I hope learning some of these acupressure points has helped you have a conversation with your body and that you feel more in touch, available, and loving towards your own body. That is the start of your healing. No one can know you better than the eyes of the heart. So I really invite any questions now, pop them in the chat, and let's have a chat. Any questions there, Davey, from Facebook?
Richard, I think you've answered this question. We want to know, please can you explain to me how it works?
How it works.
How it works, the whole thing.
The whole thing. Not sure what the it is, Richard. If you could write a little bit more, how it works. You know, what we're talking about is energy. So energy cannot be destroyed or created. Energy is just made manifest in lots of different things, in the 10,000 things that we see around you. One of those 10,000 things is ourselves, our body, and our organs. And so what we're doing is just bringing them back to balance. Bringing them back to balance. And to bring them back to balance, we have to really listen to the body. We have to really be available to listen to the body. So what I'm doing here is using the acupressure points, and sometimes these acupressure points, they can get kind of empty or blocked, and so the energy doesn't flow properly and it becomes imbalanced. So you might find, I can do another point from the free ebook. Okay, so from the free ebook, there was liver 3. Liver 3, let me see if I can take this off. Liver 3 is in between. You take your finger and you come over the knuckle, and you can see I'm in the webbing of the foot. All right, so this is the big knuckle of the foot, and that's the crease. That's liver 2. I come over the knuckle, I'm still in the webbing, and that is liver 3. Okay, but like I said, it's not just pressing a button. So you couldn't just go in and start pressing liver 3. Liver 3 is a source point. And I don't mean saw as in ow. I mean source as in SOURCE, like the source of a well, like the beginning of something. So by listening to this point, you can work the whole of the meridian. And how I find it's really useful is liver 3 is really great if you have had an argument with somebody, or you're feeling really hot-headed. Maybe you've had a hot flush. Liver 3 helps to descend the energy, to pull all of this liver energy back down into the source. But these, what I'm saying to you, they're only concepts. They're just words. Really, what you have to do is you have to try it and see what works for you. I can point to the moon, but I cannot say what the moon is. You know, that's one of the Taoist things that the master, but points to the moon. But I'm not the moon. I'm just pointing to it. So what I'm showing you here and what I'm elaborating on is how to have a connection with the body and how to improve the flow of chi around the body by using these acupressure points and by listening to the body. All right. So I hope that helps. So another question. Or was that Richard?
There's two people, Richard and Azra, want to know how to join in the morning.
Oh, how to join in the morning. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So I will post it. You can go to my website, joannefaulkner.ie, go to the shop. There's a shop there and you can join Chi Flow. So yeah, come and join me. I'm live every morning. Tomorrow, we're actually going to be learning gallbladder 30, which is on the buttocks, which is really great for sciatica and hip release. So these points, they do have a physical, anatomical solution. But the things when you're using them with shiatsu acupressure is you're having a conversation with the body. You're pressing the point and you're listening. And to listen, the best way to listen is not with your mind, but with your heart. To be open and available to listen. I hope you got a sense of how to listen with the heart, is that you really try and get out of the head. I mean, everybody talks all about mindfulness and, the benefits of meditation. Well, it has practical applications. We do Qigong in the morning to really balance the meridians and move the body's meridians. I also do shiatsu acupressure with clients. So I help them open the meridians and feel well. But really, you have to experience it yourself. The most you can do for your body is touch. Just touch. Even if you don't know about the meridians, just feel how it feels to give yourself a big hug. I mean, there's a great point here underneath here called the Great Embrace. This is called the Great Embrace, and it's for the spleen, and it's all about comfort. But even if you don't know the points, just use touch. Just use touch. All right, I can see another question coming in here. Clodagh, that was wonderful. Thank you. Joe, I hold a lot of tension in my jaw. Any tips? Yes. So check your tongue. Check the position of your tongue. See if you can, at different points of the day. So, for example, you wouldn't get up in the morning and without cleaning your teeth. And also before you go to bed, you clean your teeth. So when you do those, just check the position of your tongue, the back of your tongue, the middle of your tongue, the tip of your tongue, the sides of your tongue, the underneath of your tongue. Let your tongue rest just behind your two front teeth. Just let it rest there, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. I mean, there are lots of points that are for the jaw. So even just massaging yourself, just taking your fingers and massaging, especially underneath here, which again is related to the tongue. So using your fingers and massaging into the jaw. And then have a chat with your teeth. Drop to your heart. Relax your tongue. It's very difficult to relax the tongue when I'm doing the speaking. So if I've gone quiet, I'm relaxing my tongue. Hold it to the roof of your mouth. Relax the sides of your tongue. Relax the underneath of your tongue, the back of your tongue, the middle of your tongue, the tip of your tongue. Connect your tongue right down to your perineum. Connect the tongue right down to the perineum and feel a relaxation in the perineum. And then what I want you to do is just have a chat with each of your teeth. Just go along your teeth and have a little chat to your teeth. And just see if the teeth have anything to say. Maybe there's a certain tooth, maybe at the back, maybe at the front, or even around the jaw. Just have a conversation. is there anywhere that would like some massage to release the jaw? You might find it's above the nose. You might find it's the eyebrows. Pinch along the eyebrows. Come down, massage the cheeks. Maybe you want to tap. And just be curious. Listen with your heart. Stroke your neck and come back down the central midline of the body, always down to the lower dantian. Okay, hope that helped, Clodagh. It's really about tuning into your body. There are some great points, you know, stomach 6, right at the corner of the jaw there. You can massage, you can tap, you can check your tongue and relax your tongue. Eileen, I have knee pain with swellings at times. What are the best points to press? So there's 2 great points, and they're called the eyes of the knee. So you can just slide your fingers over your knees, and underneath your knees there are 2 extra points, and you can just massage and press. But the thing with that is, again, you're not really kind of knowing how hard to press, how soft to press. So what I would do is hold the knee. Well, actually, what I do is hold the lower belly and just know exactly, give it the pressure. So let me demonstrate where those are again. There are so many points, and there are so many reasons why you would have swelling in the knee. So for me to just tell you a point now wouldn't probably be the best thing. It's really about connecting with your body. I mean, I love, for the knees, I love spleen 9. Spleen 9, if you make a line with your leg where your crease finishes, you can massage and press here. Quite often there's a lot of dampness builds up in the body. Dampness it's one of the climates. We'd be familiar with heat in the body or cold in the body, and even kind of maybe we also have wind, but dampness is when we have an accumulation of energy that just won't move, and that often means that the joints begin to swell. So I found the crease of the knee, and I'm here into spleen 9, helping to resolve any dampness. But again, I'm just checking in. What does it need? This for me needs a little bit of circling, and it needs me to open the leg and close the leg. A little bit of tapping and rubbing either side. You got 2 knees, you got 2 spleen 9s. So again, find where the crease is, where it comes to the end. Hand on the lower belly, sink to the heart, be perceptive with the heart. How are you feeling? How is your knee feeling? And what does it need right now? So I connect with the point until I find a slight resistance. And this one actually feels quite cold. This one feels quite cold. So I'm going to warm it up a little bit. Just massaging into there and holding and sending some loving chi through that palace of weariness point. Remember, you can focus the chi from heaven and earth and direct it through the palms of the hands. Now, that takes a bit of practice, but that's all it is. It's just practice. It's concentration and practice. And even in a way, it's not concentration. It's really actually just being really expansive and in the present moment, okay? So, you know, when people tell you to press this point for that and that point for that, yes, it has a physical effect, but really it's the connection that shiatsu acupressure offers. You know, if you just want to go and do the points, you can have acupuncture, but there's something really deeply nourishing about connecting with the body. All right, I'm going to take a few more questions. Okay, go. Go, Dave, you go.
The same lady, Alstress, she was a member. She had back surgery, leg surgery 3 years ago. She loves you. She wants to know, is there any discounts? Or you could explain to her about how that works.
So there is a discount after 3 months. If you join Chi Flow with Joe, after 3 months, your membership is halved to 20 euros a month. And that gives you, I think it's over 21 morning classes plus 2 evening classes. And it gives you a library of hundreds of videos. So have a look, Ausra, have a look. And you can always mail me directly through the website. There's a contact form on the website.
And she says she has rheumatoid arthritis. Any advice?
Avoid, yes, tricky online to answer that question, rheumatoid arthritis, but definitely avoid sugars, avoid anything that's really going to bring dampness to the body. You want lots of lovely twisting and opening movements, yeah? So dampness can kind of settle in the body, and we want to almost kind of wring it out. So these wonderful movements. So even putting your fingers together like that. So those kind of movements where you're really wringing out the joints, and also what we're doing this month, if you're members of Chi Flow with Joe, which I know, Anne, you are, I'm getting to your question next. Anne is member of Chi Flow with Joe. I've got lots of messages coming in now, so I'm just trying to focus. So what I'm doing here is really wringing it out, yeah? So that fascia can really work well. Fascia covers every single muscle, tissue, and an organ of the body. But if it's not worked and if it's not moved, it can get brittle, it can hold on to inflammatory markers, which then create lots of inflammation in the body. So making sure that we have these wonderful spiraling moves. Here's another nice one. Hold your hand over your crease of your elbow and rotate. So again, you get that kind of feeling. What you're doing is you're really kind of wringing through the fascia. You're really kind of opening up and wringing. Some of these movements in Qigong are called silk reeling. So you might imagine this is a wonderful piece of silk and it's soft and smooth and you're moving it through. And then, of course, we can always do a little bit of shaking. All right. So that is really good for rheumatoid arthritis, to move the dampness that can accumulate. You want to avoid sugars and eat lots. Well, if you're going to have carbohydrates, make sure that they are really complex carbohydrates like brown rice, quinoa, and millet. Okay, Anne, let's get to you. Thanks, Joe, for all of that. As my anxiety settled after the trying to get online while working with the points, I could feel the quietness, and that was replaced by grief. Delighted to be open and available for it. Isn't that the truth? Thank you so much for that, Anne. I think a lot of the time we fill our lives full of this busyness and noise, so that actually we don't have that connection, because sometimes the emotions that really our body wants to express are uncomfortable. We can feel disappointment, anger, shame. We can feel all of these uncomfortable emotions. And the thing with dropping to the heart and having the sensory perception in the heart is that we allow that to happen without those emotions becoming us. We understand in Chinese medicines, emotions are just things that rise and fall, whether that's happiness, sadness, grief, connection, joy, bitterness, all of them. If we can see them all as equals, which is just feelings that arise and fall. But a lot of the time we are running away from the uncomfortable emotions because we want the nice ones. And unfortunately, the thing with life is you've got to have a bit of both. There's no escaping grief, sadness. We can all pinpoint a time where something has happened that is unfair, that has made us sad. A lot of grief, because death is a big thing. Death is a big thing that we all try and avoid thinking about, but we will all die, and the people close to us will die. So really acknowledging us that brings a truth to life. And it means that we can really live it fully, embrace fully. And I can even feel, as I'm saying that, I can feel my heart expanding, and I feel my lower belly sinking. That reality of life. Thanks so much, Anne, for being so honest and vulnerable there. Thank you. Thanks for a lovely session, Eileen. Thanks, Joe. That really helped. Good, great, great. I'll take one more off Facebook. No more off Facebook. It's been a beautiful session. I've really enjoyed doing it. I think we might go back to Zoom next time, because I think there was a lot of people who couldn't get on live because this seemed to have a closed room. So have a beautiful chi-filled evening. I send you lots of chi right from the heart, exactly as you are now, exactly as you are. No expectations, just one human to another. And may you be happy, safe and well. And may all beings be happy,